Welcome to Secrets from the Saddle podcast. I'm Sylvie, your host, fellow cyclist, bike club founder, cycling coach, bike race junkie, just truly super passionate about cycling. My journey with cycling started 20 years ago when I opened a spin studio, started a women's race team, and founded a women's only cycling club called Cycle Fit Chicks. I'm super thrilled to reveal all aspects that make the world of cycling operate. I'm so excited to be able to bring you interesting people from around the world, pro cyclists, recreational cyclists, coaches, event organizers, bike shop owners, everything and everyone you need to know or ever wondered about when it comes to cycling. I know you'll enjoy this episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle, all things cycling podcast with your host Sylvie Dow, and this is my segment. It's a coaching segment, but this one isn't particularly about coaching. This episode is dedicated to all my single parents out there who are listeners to the podcast, and just, a little bit about me. I was a single parent. But it was a long time ago. I've been married to my now husband for 12 years. I was a single parent between 2005 and 2008. So it was like 3-4 years there, struggling on my own, starting a business, working with my daughter. And funny enough, and the reason why this episode is dedicated to my single parents, because I do talk about, in some of my other episodes, I have talked about how our obsession with sport can potentially lead to divorce. And it's not something that's, it's totally something that could be avoidable with communication and compromise and all those lovely things. And, including the other partner, the family, not making it about you, but, trying to fit it all in and making everybody happy, which is, I always encourage that because I've been there. Did you know, statistically, 50% of marriages end in divorce, 60% due to finances, 20% due to lack of communication, 20% due to infidelity. And sometimes if we're talking about the cycling, fitness, active running, triathlon, whatever world, if you tend to be in it 100%, your partner not so much, and there's no communication around that. I do see this a lot happening, where the couple just becomes disconnected and they find other partners in other training partners, right? I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I've seen it happen a lot here. And I'm just going to tell you, my first marriage to my first husband, I had a spinning studio. Here's a prime example. I had a spinning studio, and he was in charge of coaching this one triathlete group. And let's just say that our relationship was not, it was on the rocks, maybe even from the get-go. It just, there's a lot of issues, a lot of things that weren't discussed, and we just progressed into buying property. Anyways, so he just started spending more time there, and then going there earlier than staying and running with the group. And then before I knew it, I heard from friends in my studio that he was spending more time with this one woman. And, fast forward, we ended up separating, and he'd kind of already moved on from her. So there's an example right from me to you. And the reason why I share this is that a lot of these things can be totally avoided with, just sitting down and discussing things. And I'm not going to say that I'm perfect, but because I've waited a very long time to get help myself with, issues that I've been holding on since I was a child in high school, my own family upbringing. And funny enough, through podcasting, I was invited to be on a podcast with this beautiful woman, Irina Shavosov. She has a single parenting podcast. And so I relate to that because I've been a single parent. So I put my name out there to be on the podcast, and she interviewed me last spring. And I'll put the link to that episode in the description. But through that, she invited me to be a contributing author as a collaborative to a soul parent book. Isn't that cool? So I am not an author. I am not good at writing. Was not good in English, and it's some of those things that I've always regretted and not paying attention to, like becoming a good writer, being able to write grammatically correct sentences. But the beautiful thing is that she invited me to share my story in a chapter in this book. And that's what I want to share with you today. Because, I've been there. Like when I was a single parent, I took the house and I paid my husband off. And then I had to do everything in my power to keep my house, like sell my stuff, have a roommate, work 2 jobs, keep, food in my car and taking care of my daughter. And so, it worked out. But a lot of parents, it doesn't work out. And this book is, out there, it's success stories and just letting solo single parents know that, it can be successful and you can find love at the end of the day. But so telling my story, she had invited me with 10 other parents. So this is a really good chapter book to submit like our stories. It's only 3,000 words. So 3,000 words gets you about 15 minutes of reading time, basically, I think, depending on how fast you read. And, so I regurgitate everything out, and then you have to take away stuff. So needless to say, not everything's on there because you had to pick and choose and make it, really straight to the point. But through this experience and just learning from others and listening to others' stories, it's been a really great experience. And the beautiful thing is that it's being launched this Friday at 9. So December 9th at 9 a.m. And, I ask you to support me. Purchasing the book drives this book to become a bestseller in Amazon. And it's only 99 cents. It's a Kindle version download. So if you don't have Kindle, not to worry. Apparently, there's a free downloadable version that you can get. Then you can immediately listen to this book, or not listen to it, but read it. And yeah, it would be really amazing. We're really trying to, as a collective, to drive our book to the top. And also, if you are a single parent and you need someone to talk to, I just want to put that out there that you can reach out to me on Instagram underneath the podcast episode. So I encourage you to listen to it there or follow us there. This also ends up on our YouTube channel. So you can go to the link below, go to YouTube and listen to it. Has some great pictures on there. And you can reach out there as well. If you have things you want to ask, or you just want to talk over text, I'm there. And I also want to share that I mentioned, I'm now married for 12 years with my amazing husband. He was my friend, actually. We were all kind of like a friend circle. So a little bit of that story is in the chapter, but we got married 2009, and we had another daughter and a son. But it's not without, relationships are not easy. Marriage relationships, partnerships aren't easy. There are constant need for communication. And, even in my current relationship, we've had some really challenging times. I think everybody during COVID, and that's when a lot of marriages broke down, right? Because you no longer have things that you can mask your problems with, like your kids, for instance, like work, like activities. We're all thrown in 100% to face our worst nightmares, our problems for 2 years. And, it's sad to say, but I have friends who are family lawyers, and they just say how incredibly fucking busy it is with divorces. And even now, like my kids, how many of their friends don't have marriages that have lasted? How many of them have parents that are separated and divorced? It's astonishing. It's like over 50% of the classroom. So we can do a lot to salvage and repair relationships. And I want to share with you that, kind of left it to its absolute worst in my current relationship where, it was scary bad. And one of the things said that I didn't want to get divorced again. And I made a leap, and I don't know, it's funny how things show up on Facebook. When you're sitting there thinking about something, it pops up into your feed. Is that not fucking bizarre? It's so bizarre. Whether you're shopping for shoes or looking for coaching or a trip, it's like Osmo. It's scary. You put in a search word and boom, you get everything. So, I started listening to this one woman and she basically, her whole tagline is save your marriage. Not get therapy, but how can I save my marriage? And I was just like, oh my God, I need to listen to this a little bit more. I signed up for her webinar and I was like, yeah, you talking to me? Yes, that's me. And I booked a phone call and I'm just like, take my money, because, when you get divorced, you lose 50% of everything. And if you're going to go down a financial rabbit hole of lost finances, divorce is number one. How many people end up, bankruptcy because they can't afford it, because they got divorced? Divorce is a money sucker, and you can prevent it by spending a little bit on some therapy to fix you, not fix your relationship. And another thing about this therapy is it's not couples therapy. Couples therapy, I don't think works because we went through it in my first husband, and it was just like an opportunity to hurt each other with our words. And I think this type of therapy is help your marriage, even if your husband is not on board or your partner's not on board. Well, it has to be husband because it's all women. And the thing is that we need to work on ourselves a whole shit ton. Releasing the ego, releasing the issues that we had as children, whatever it is, what kind of trauma we went through that we bring it into our current relationship. It's important that we fix ourselves. We cannot fix our partner. We can fix ourselves and thus influence the relationship. And I thought that what she said there and I'm repeating it, was so powerful, because a lot of people try to change their partners, change them, but no, nobody's going to change, but we can definitely change if we want to, but we can influence how our relationships work together and understand what the other person needs. And I just found this kind of ironic that I was asked to do this soul parent book collaboration at a point in time when my relationship was like in the dumps. And then I'm like, you know what? I do need fucking therapy on me. I need to figure out why I'm so angry at certain things. One of them is towards my dad, like helping and repairing that relationship. Another one is a relationship with my daughter from my first marriage. She lives with her dad. She has a lot of health issues. And then, everything collides together. And then it comes out in my current marriage and with my kids. And it's just really something I don't want. So without going into so much detail, and I could talk about things a lot, and, it's a cycling podcast, but, as your cycling podcast host, I want to share with you certain things that are going on in my life. And if you're not, because maybe you're not following me on social media, and there's certain places where I share more of my personal life, which is on Facebook, on my personal page. And then Instagram is kind of like just cycling stuff. Because, quite honestly, Facebook might be for the older crowd, but for us, I think that's where we've created our deepest relationships. And I know for me, because Facebook was first and foremost for me, that is where I have created my deepest relationships. And I find that Facebook is way more authentic than Instagram personally. And that's where I have my friends. And that's where I share my life. So yeah, this is all going on right now. And that's why I ask you to support me. Collectively, we're pushing to create this book as a bestseller on Amazon, and it requires lots of purchases of the Kindle version at 99 cents. So I do have a link to join my support Facebook page. Hopefully you're on Facebook. You can go and ask to be added or join right there, and you'll get all the updates. This week I'll be doing interviews with the other parents or solo parents that are part of the collective, and just getting a little bit about their story, which I think is just so powerful, because we need to support each other. Like, this is just an area that is just unfortunately growing. And even as a solo mom or solo dad who are active cyclists, cycling might be our way for freedom, or might be something that you share with your children. It's a powerful thing that we should, support each other. So with that, all the links are in the bio. Follow on YouTube and Instagram. And I would love for your support on my Facebook page. And share this with somebody else that you know who, like, maybe are recently single or have been a solo parent for a while, or looking for a collective group to join. It's there. And so with that, I hope you have an amazing weekend, and thanks for listening. I love you and I appreciate you guys so much. And, even though I'm so inconsistent with my Fridays now. I'm really looking to be better for you. So have an amazing day. Thank you. And thanks again for your support. Love y'all. Bye. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on the Secrets from the Saddle podcast, learning more about exciting people, places, and things that make cycling such an exciting sport. I am so glad you stopped by today. Please leave me a review if you feel so moved to do so. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you could take 1 second to share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it, I would be forever grateful. Also, if you could please leave me a review if you feel so moved by going to iTunes and leaving me an honest thought and an honest comment, telling me what you think, and most importantly, tell me what you'd like to hear more of. It would really help me to bring more great, inspiring cycling stories to you. Until then, have an amazing day. Make sure you ride your bike. And don't forget to visit my YouTube channel if you'd like to see the full version of this podcast live.